This was a pretty unique day weather-wise. They were predicting rain by lunchtime. Well, they really didn't rain by lunchtime, but what happened, the wind started blowing, and as I went along the ride, it was blowing more and more and more. I was getting a little nervous. What the hell's going through, a tornado or something? But anyway, we did make it back home. The bike didn't blow off the kickstand, and well, what can I say? We filled it up with gas and didn't get any gas on the gas tank. And it actually, at the end of the day, it turned out to be a good day. Now today I got up super early. I really have a lot of stuff other than motorcycling to do today, but I did want to get a ride on the RD. I was thinking about it all night. I haven't ridden it in more than 2 weeks, and sometimes you just get that urge to smell a little bit of two-stroke oil. Today's the day. And maybe you can hear outside the landscapers are just finishing up. We may be at the end of the landscaping season, but here's something that's pretty important. We're at the part of the year where usually if it goes below 50 degrees, and we're about 49 right now, usually I raise the needles in the RD so it richens it up just a little bit. I don't like to ever run that risk that we're running so lean that we're on the razor edge and burn a hole in a piston. Down by my desk I have a piston with a hole in it to remind me, don't do that. And maybe someday in my next life I'll have a bigger garage where I don't have to be a parking lot attendant for half of my life. And I try never. This is really an important thing when you have two strokes. If you're pretty excited about heading out for a ride, you got to check that two-stroke oil. That's something you know, I'm used to. Many years of racing, you don't want to do that. Always want to check the air in the tires, especially if I haven't ridden a bike in a week or two. I think it's been 2 weeks, but I'm not sure. Now, this bike is real easy on tires. This, unlike some of the bigger, heavier, more powerful bikes that eat up a set of tires in a few thousand miles, this bike just cruises, and that's one of the nice features of it, of course. But I never want to go out on a ride with a dirty bike full of bugs or mud or slime or whatever, especially because today we may get caught in the rain today. You never really know. There's always an unknown quantity here when they say 90% chance of rain by lunchtime. But we'll take whatever we can get, because any day I can get a ride in. I have plenty of days that the weather is terrible or it's raining or snowing. There's a lot of wind today. I don't know why. It's a gloomy day, but it's not going to be gloomy once I get this started. And I may have to edit out some of the wind noise on this camera. And this time of year, the fall leaves are still changing. But one thing never changes: how much fun it is to ride this bike. Alright, one more cup of coffee. One more cup of coffee. We'll get suited up here. Still have tomatoes ripening on the windowsill. What a time of year. I thought I'd show this. This is a good video to show it on. This is what happens when you get a little carried away with your two-stroke. I actually keep that on my desk with a pen in it to remind me, don't do that. Don't do that. And boy, this happened. We were riding with Joe Roselli, and luckily now I have a brand new set of pistons in the bike, of course. But boy, was that an adventure of a day. We probably got that video out on YouTube. I'll have to look for that. Carl, I put that picture on for you. I bet you have a bunch of pistons in your collection too. And we all us two-stroke lovers have them. Final weather check. Rain is on the way. Rain by lunchtime. We will still get a ride. Oh, there is something about the smell of that two-stroke oil on a crisp, cool fall day. Boy, that cold weather isn't spoiling anything today. This bike is very happy with the cold weather. I think we're going to have to raise those needles one notch though. It's getting colder by the day. Now, anybody that's got a two-stroke knows that you're constantly fiddling with the mixture control and the idle screw and everything and the needles if you want to keep it on the razor edge. If you just want to drive around like it's a lawnmower, well, yeah, you don't have to do any of that. I like to try to keep it on the razor edge as long as possible. Now, one thing today I really wish I had, but I don't, of course. Just like with the GS, I don't have a way of mounting a radar detector on the gas tank, because this isn't a tank that they don't make a Jivvy tank adapter for. But anyway, I was just really super careful, and even at that, I got to see some yellow, red, and blue flashing lights. For part of this ride, what I did, and I do it often when I'm riding this bike, I ride through town. In this case, some of the people still have their Thanksgiving and fall decorations up. It's always just nice to just relax, cruise a little, get off the main highway, and the nice thing about this bike, super comfortable, super easy to maneuver around in tight spaces, in and out of places where you have to turn around. It's just a lot of fun. Getting out of hand here. Wow, I can't believe we're turning into a windstorm today. Now, of course, one of my future projects that maybe will happen over this winter, maybe not, or maybe 2 winters, who knows? I'm never going to sell a bike, so it doesn't matter. I wanted to try to get a full electronic ignition for this, like Ray has on some of his two-strokes and Luciano had on 2 of the 2 strokes he had, and everybody that's got it seems real happy with it. Well, between the wind and the cold weather, I'm sorry we don't have white caps out on our road. Oh, 2 strokes love that cold air, though. They love it. Now, one thing, this particular bike, because it is jetted on a rich side, I never want to take a chance on burning up another piston if I don't have to. So I keep it on a rich side. But here's the good thing. When the weather gets colder and colder like it is now, it responds to the cold with just that little extra power that you appreciate. Now, I know Race Tech makes an upgrade for the fork, and that's relatively easy to do. I've talked to Luciano about doing this over the winter too, possibly. But the problem is, I left this. If I had unlimited time, it's really the time that you run out of. You never run out of anything in the end, except time. Now, it's funny, because I ride with the Valentine, I haven't heard any sirens behind me in a really long time. Well, and I better keep my mouth shut. But today, they weren't chasing me anyway. But when I heard the siren, I looked down to see if the radar detector was on, and no radar detector. I kind of lost track of it a little bit there. But that's the whole thing when you're riding a two-stroke and going through the gears and trying to avoid potholes and blah, 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 blah. You kind of get lost in your own private little world. And one thing I always enjoy about cruising around on the RD, it's just so nimble and just so easy to just get in and out of places, turn it around, stand it on its nose or whatever. And a lot of times I'm riding along and I just want to stop and take a picture, and oh, there's something going on, and the RD is always easy to ride, always fun. And the final cherry on a sundae is that I have historic plates. The registration for the rest of the bike's life is free. It's basically a free motorcycle. And I just can't see any reason to sell a bike. I'm tempted from time to time, but then reality sets in. And every day that I get out on this bike, there's never been a time I go out on a bike. There's been times it's broken down. There's been times it had to be towed in. But I never, at the end of the day, don't look back at the day and say, my God, that brought me back to my childhood. It brought me back to a simpler time. Hey, a time when gas wasn't $4.50 a gallon.
Oh, that wind is just howling. Jeez. It's getting worse by the minute. And it wasn't so good to begin with.
Well, it's time to get back to the farm. There's still mums around, still roses out. Karen's still got a few tomatoes from day to day. We never know what we're going to get. Still got a few zinnias. It's a pretty time. There's still some trees with some orange leaves on them from here to there. But basically, the time machine is taking us back to reality now at the end of the ride. So the way this played out, it looks like we beat the rain totally. It's coming though. It's definitely going to be here very soon. But we didn't beat the wind, and I'm going to have to edit from the some of the camera pictures. And it's always a lot of extra work. The wind is still howling. I don't know what's going on, but there is a big storm coming. Anyway, we're going to put the baby away. Always good to get out on the RD. There's never a bad day. Here comes the wind again. Oh my God. But we're back home. Not a drop got on the baby. So I hope you did enjoy the video, and thanks for two-stroking. Oh, thanks for watching. Karen bought me this bike for Valentine's Day 9 years ago, and Luciano helped me rescue it from South Jersey, and that was quite an adventure. It took me a whole year to restore it. I've had it as an evil twin with the tune pipes and big carbs and high compression heads and God knows what else on it. But the reality is, it's all back to being a stock bike now. That's the beauty of evil twins. And I want to keep them running as new as I possibly can. And I want to ride them as often as possible. I want to wear it out. It's a very difficult thing to wear these bikes out, but I'm giving it my best. So if you enjoyed the video, I hope you share it with your friends. And of course, I hope, most of all, that we'll see you tomorrow. And thanks again for watching.